All right, Miss Beth, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Do what?
Why would we roll?
Why would we roll? A figure of speech. Y'all can talk about that in your life. All right, so let's look at our learning target for the day. So your learning target for today, what you're learning is to calculate elapsed time. See that word elapsed? I want you to turn and talk to your partner. What do you think elapsed means? What do you think that means? Alright, let's come back together. What do y'all think? Somebody share. Raise your hand. What do you think elapsed means? Yes, sir.
It's like over time.
Over time. So time that has passed by. Do you think? Would y'all agree with that?
Yes.
So elapsed, we're looking to calculate how much time passed. Right? So that's what elapsed means. So that's our word for today that we're working on. But it's how much time has gone by. So that's what you're learning today. I hear you've been doing time for a little bit and talking about telling time to the minute and all of those things. So you already have some information and knowledge about clocks and time. So we're going to use that today to calculate elapsed time. So here's how you're going to know you're successful. So today you will be successful if you can do two things. That you can use your clocks. You have some paper clocks that are on your task, and you also have a little yellow one you don't necessarily need right this minute, but you might need if you're trying to prove something to me. But you're going to have to use your clock and a number line to show the elapsed time. So tell your partner, what are the two things you're going to have to use to show to be successful? All right, back with me. What do you got to use? So if you and your partner are working and you've shown it on the clock, are you done?
No.
No, because you're going to think about what does this look like on a number line. I know you've been working with those too, so think about what you know about number lines and how that can help you. And then if you've done a number line first, you got to show it on the clock. So both of those things. Are y'all with me? All right, here we go. Let's get started. So our task for the day, this is kind of what's in front of you. You all have your own sheet. So everybody should have their own sheet.
Yep.
But you're working together. So let's see what it says. Sean had soccer practice. Any of you play soccer?
No.
No soccer, but maybe some other sports? Yeah, used to. So we've gone to practice before. And practice starts, and don't yell out the times. That's part of the things you're going to be working on. At this time shown on the clock, that's what time practice started. So you're going to have to figure that out. And then practice ended at here, at this time. What we want to know is how long was practice? So you and your partner are going to spend some time thinking about how you can figure out the elapsed time, or the time that has passed from the beginning of practice to the end of practice. You think you can do that?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to set my timer, and I want you to go ahead and start. Remember, success criteria using clocks and a number line. So start talking with your partner. How are you going to figure this out?
Okay, I think I Little hand means.
Oh, how did you know? In between. 3:30. Gotcha. So what do you call this hand? The minute hand. That's right. So it tells us how many minutes. So 3:30. Great. So what are y'all thinking? Once you figure out what time this is, how do you think you might figure out the elapsed time? What do you think you're going to have to do? Figure out how much time went by.
How much time we think it was.
Okay, y'all work on that after you figure out this time, and I'm going to come back and check on you, okay? All right. Let's talk about these groups back here. Let's see what we got. Just in case we need it. I don't know if we do. So, well, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So here's what I'm wondering. So first of all, you have your times on here, 3:30 and 4:17. How did you know that this was 3:30 and 4:17? Y'all just keep working. Or we can all talk. You know what? Let's all talk together because y'all have the same time. Since I'm here, might as well talk to all of you. So y'all all had the same time. How did you know it was 3:30 and 4:17? How'd y'all figure that out?
Because it's not, because the hand is not hitting the 4 yet, so it's not 3 something.
Okay, so you knew it was 3 something. It wasn't 4 yet, was it? Because it hadn't gotten there. Excellent. So how'd you know it was 30 minutes? Somebody else tell me how'd you know it was 30. Yeah.
So I did 5 times 6 and I got 30.
Did y'all hear what he said? He said 5 times 6 and he got 30. Why did he do 5 times 6? I'm confused.
Because every number, it always has to go 5 minutes because there's 5 dashes right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So every number is 5 minutes. So you said 5 and there's 6 of them, 5 times 6. That is an interesting way to think about it. So you knew this was 30 minutes. So how did you get 17? How did y'all get 17 minutes? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, that's okay. You want to help them out?
So whenever it is 3, so you count 5 to 15. Every time you get to a big number, then you count the dashes and go 1, 2, and so then you count those.
Did y'all hear what she said? She said, I said 5, 10, 15, and then 2 more, 16, 17. So I want you to think about that when you're trying to figure out the elapsed time. Remember, we're trying to figure out how much time went by from 3:30 to 4:17. So what do you think you're going to do to figure that out? What's something you might do?
So I know that 3 and 4 they are an hour from each other, so it's gonna be an hour and something minutes. And I know that I just gotta look how long it took to get to 4:17.
All right, tell me your name, honey.
Silas.
Silas is saying he knows that it's from 3 to 4, so it's going to be at least an hour. What do y'all think?
47 minutes.
She thinks it's 47 minutes and not quite an hour. Here's what I want y'all to work on. I want you to work on figuring out how can you prove which time is correct. And how are you going to calculate that? So we'll talk to your neighbors here about what he's thinking and what she's thinking and see if we can prove it. And I'm going to come back and check to see who is proving the answer, okay? So y'all work on how you're going to prove if it's an hour that went by or if it's only 47 minutes. Okay?
I got 47 because
All right. Talk to me back here. What is happening? We have 3:30 and 4:22. Uh-oh, your partner's here. Say 3:30 and 4:17. So let's talk about it. What do you think? We both had 3:30, so we knew that it was 3 and at the 30 minutes. What about our 4? Is it 4:22 or 4:17?
4:17.
Wait, y'all are just giving in? Why do you think it's 17?
Because
Make them prove it to you.
you know that 5, 10, 15, 16, 17.
Oh, did you see that? Oh. So what do you think happened here?
They were counting from the 12.
That they were going 5,
We were going like this 5,
15, 20, 21, 22.
Oh, so you had gone a little further down than you needed to. So you had gone to this, is that what you just said? And you went 21, 22, but you went too far. Is that what you're saying? So do you agree that it's 4:17? They proved it. Okay, so how are you going to figure out how much time went from the clock being at 3:30 to 4:17? What are you going to do? How are you going to figure out that much time? If I say soccer practice starts at 3:30, it's going to end at...
minutes.
He is saying 47 minutes.
Wait,
What is-
let me figure this out.
So let's think though, what are you doing? What's your strategy to figure it out? What are you doing?
So this is 30 minutes.
Let's listen to our friend here. What's he saying?
This is 30 minutes.
This is 30 minutes. And what time will it be, y'all? If it's right here at 3:30, he said it's 30 minutes. What time will it be in 30 minutes if it's 3:30?
It will be 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
And then it's 17 here, 30 and 17.
Okay, so he's saying that from here to here is 30. Could y'all somehow show that on the clock about how you figured that out for me? So I can see it on the clock, because remember our success criteria was to show it on the clock and a number line. So I want y'all to think about how can we show what, tell me your name, sweetie. What was it? Jotham. Jotham, is that right? Jotham is saying here, and how we can show it on the clock. But I want y'all also to be thinking about, okay, I hear what he's saying, but what does that look like on a number line? What would your number line start with? I want y'all to talk about that, and I'll come back. Alright. What's going on over here? We got our times? You got 3:30 and you got 4:17. So how did you know this was 4:17?
Because we know the minute every big one.
Okay, so you counted by fives. and you figured out that this was 3:30. But how did you know this was 4:17?
Because the small hand was on it. Plus, what I find 6K.
Oh, so that. So how did you know there were 17?
Well, he's doing it backwards. Okay, yeah. So you know how it's 15? I think it's 15.
Did you hear what she said? It's 15 to here. How does she know it's 15 to here? How does she know that? She count by fives?
Okay, and
So 5, 10, 15, then what?
then I count 16 and then 17.
Perfect. So you found your times. How are y'all going to figure out how much time is between 3:30 and 4:17? What do you need to do?
Okay, so I learned in my other class that if you well, this is how you find the minute.
So what time did practice start? 3:30. So what are you going to do to figure out how much time passed until 4:17? What's something you can do? What are you going to add?
Subtraction. Like you can do 17 plus 30.
Okay, you could do 17 plus 30, but remember, part of our success criteria was to show on the clock or a number line how to calculate the elapsed time. So how could you show on the clock how much time went by? Oh, we could add them. Oh, did you see what she just did? She said we could do this, and she made little loops like that. What do you think you could do from 3:30? What could you do? What do y'all think? What are you gonna do? If it's 3:30, what if 1 minute passed? What time would it be? If you're at 3:30, right here. If 1 minute passed, where would your hand be?
Okay, what's the next one?
1 more minute. It would be 3:31. Oh, look what he's doing. Hold, please. Everybody look at this. You see what he just did? He is going from here. Why do you think he's doing this? Why is he doing these little loops?
How much minutes am I in? At like what?
Well, if we're trying to figure out elapsed time, is he showing elapsed time going by?
Yeah.
So he is showing how many minutes?
3.
This is 3 minutes from here to here?
No, it's
Oh, it's 15 because there's how many between here?
3.
There's 3 groups of how much? 5, right. So 5, 10, 15, right? What I'm wondering is, look at where you started. If we're counting minutes, did you start on the minute hand? Did you start on the minute hand? Oh, so I wonder if y'all could think about how you can use his strategy to find the elapsed time. But we want to start on the minute hand because that's what tells us what minute it is. So we're trying to figure out how many minutes went by here, the elapsed time. Can y'all handle that? I want y'all to work on that and see if you can show that on the clock, okay? Awesome. All right, guys, did you come up with an answer for me?
Yes.
What'd you get? All right. Did you do the success criteria, the clock scan? So how much time was that?
27 minutes.
27 minutes. Oh, 47 minutes. So talk to me about why did you choose to stop at 4 o'clock?
Because I would rather get to 100 because it makes more sense because you jump 30 to get to another 100 and you can just add another number to get to the other. You can add that number to get to the other number.
Okay, so what you're trying to get to the next number. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to 100.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You just have to add the
Yes.
other number that you came up with.
Sorry. So you're trying to get to the next number, right? The next friendly number on a clock, if you're at 3:30, what's the next friendly number?
Every hour. Technically it's every 5 minutes.
A couple more, about another minute or so. I can get this.
I think it might be 3.
Okay. So what do you think? You did it too. Why did y'all stop at 4 o'clock? Why didn't you just keep counting 30s?
to get to 100, so we can just add another.
So where's 100? What do you mean 100?
I mean 4 o'clock.
Okay.
I was thinking hundreds and stuff.
So you're trying to get to the o'clock, right? So I'm curious, why didn't you just keep going 30? 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. Why didn't you just keep jumping 30? Why'd you stop?
So we could just get to the next hour.
Oh, you were trying to get to the next hour. And so then what did you add?
The other number we came up with to get 47 minutes.
Okay, so from 4 o'clock down to 4:17. Is that what you're saying? So from 4 o'clock to 4:17 is 17 minutes. So then you put the two together. All right.
And it was at the 3, and when you count by 5, it was 5, 10, 15, and it was 2 past. So we just added to the
2
17.
more. So what you're telling me is really you said 5, 10, 15, and then 16, 17. I'm wondering, can y'all show that on your number line? How you actually counted by 5s and then 2 more. Can y'all talk about how that would look on the number line? I'm going to come back. Did you guys get the number line?
Yep.
Awesome. So talk to me about why you chose to jump this way.
Because we thought it was easier.
Oh, so you started at 3:30. And what time should the clock have ended?
4:22.
Oh, you have 4:22, you have 4:17. Which one is it? You have the end time is 4:17, he has the end time is 4:22. What do you think? What time did it actually end?
I said it was 4:22. Okay. Because it was 5, 10, 15.
So if you're at, show me if you're what you're doing about 5:10. What do you start at?
Wait, that's not.
Oh, it's okay. Let's think about this. So if you started here and you're going to here, how much time goes by? Go ahead and count. Show us again.
Oh, it would be 17.
Oh, it would be 17. Did y'all see what he was doing? 5, 10, 15, and then he said 16, 17. So can you adjust your number line to show that instead of jumping 22 that they jumped 17? Y'all working that. Check on you, y'all get this?
Yes, we got the number line. We got that. I was wrong and Jake was right. It was 47 to get to 417.
Okay, so why did y'all choose to jump? Did y'all jump all the same amount of jumps?
No.
You didn't? Y'all jumped 10? What did y'all jump? Oh, you did, didn't you? Is there, I'm wondering, is there something else you could have jumped from 4:30?
Yeah,
You
30.
Wow, 30.
Because it's much easier.
Oh, it's much easier. We would just go 30 minutes up to the o'clock, wouldn't we? It'd be 4 o'clock. And then we add those 17. What I'm wondering, remember our success criteria was we were trying to show it on the clock. How could you show these jumps on this clock? Y'all talk about that. We'll do that.
Yeah. I know how to do this. Okay, Jake.
Can you jump? Yeah, we put 2.
Oh, past until. So what are you jumping from and to?
3:30 to
4:17, right? 3:30 to 4:17. But what I'm wondering is, how much did you jump? How did you know how much to jump? Like, it looks like you just jumped the whole 47.
No.
You did? What did you jump first?
Wait, no, we counted to 4 o'clock.
Oh, you counted to 4 o'clock. So how many minutes is it to 4 o'clock?
30 minutes.
Can you show that on your clock? Can you show me how many minutes it is from here to there by doing like that? Yeah. So that's 30. Put 30 out there so we'll know. That first jump was 30. So really you jumped 30. And then you jumped how many more from 30? Ah, good. So can you show that? Yeah, so that's 17. Interesting. So could you show those same numbers on your number line? Let me do this here. Could you show these same jumps on your number line? Oh, let's see if you could. Did you guys get to it? Oh, what's the 30 plus 17 mean?
It's hot.
Huh? Okay, but where's the 30 coming from?
Because still we know 5 number line longer.
Oh, so you know from here to here is 30 minutes, is what you're saying. So that was your 30, and the 17 came from?
It came
Gotcha. So the 17 here. So you added the time from here to here and there to there. I'm following you. So all we need to do now is, what does this look like on a number line? What would your number line start with? And what would it end with? Y'all talk about that.
17.
Okay. Let's come back together. You guys are awesome at exploring and talking with each other. So excited to talk with you about some solutions you have out and about out here. So, Miss Love can figure out how to work this. It's okay, I can. And so, probably. I think I know how to fix this. Edit, and then we flip it, right? Are y'all going to help me with that one? Okay. So let's take a look. Well, it says crop. I know there's a flip. There it is. Can we see that? Okay, so let's take a look at this first solution that we have up here. So eyes are all up here, and let's talk about what we see on the screen. So you see this line, and do you see these jumps here? You see that? I want you to turn and talk to your partner. Why do you think that this group chose to stop at 4 o'clock? Turn and talk to your partner. Why do you think they chose to stop at 4 o'clock?
That's the next hour. They need to
Okay. Let's come back together. Why do you think they chose to stop, at 4 o'clock? Who wants to share? What y'all talk about? Yeah.
I think they stopped at 4 o'clock because that's what the next hour they needed to get to, and that all they have to add is just 17 more minutes to get to the place that they need to get to.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's saying they stopped at the next hour. When we get to the next hour, that's kind of like our next friendly number. Like when you guys are adding your friendly numbers and you stop at 10 and then you add some more. Yeah, kind of the same thing. So we stopped at our next friendly number. And then you even alluded to this 17 is the other 17 minutes on the clock. Would you agree with that? So how much time passed? How much time elapsed? Yes? 47. Where did she get 47? Turn and talk to your neighbor. Where's the answer in this number line? Where's the answer? Okay, let's come back together. Where was the answer in that number line? Let me put it back up here for you. Where was the answer in this number line? Yeah, go ahead.
30 plus 17, and it equals 47.
Y'all following that? So they added the two jumps together to get the total amount of time that went by from 3:30 to 4:17. Okay? So let's look at this clock here that I was just showing, maybe. Look at this. How is this different than the last model we just saw? See this model? You see what happened here? They have a little line. I know sometimes it's hard to see, so I'm trying to describe. And they have a little 30, and then they jump from here to a little 17. I want you to talk to your partners. How is this different? And did they get the right answer? Try to talk to your partners. How is this different?
They use the clock to limit the time, and they jump 4 minutes, and that's how much jumps is my clock. 30, 60.
Okay, let's come back together. What were they doing here? What do these mean? And did it give them the right answer? What do y'all think? What were you talking about? I hear some head shaking no. Do we agree? Or do we disagree? I see some heads disagreeing, and I see some agreeing. So who wants to share their thoughts? Defend your answer. What do you think?
I think it's correct because I knew that 30 plus 30 equals 60.
So
So they went across 30 minutes, which equals 1 hour.
okay. So so you think they think it's an hour went by? What do y'all think? Who agrees with that or has another thought? You have something else back here? Y'all think an hour went by too?
Yep.
Yeah? What do you think? Did an hour go by from here to here?
Wait.
Oh.
No.
Wait. Did we go to the next hour?
Yeah.
Oh, so if we were at 3:30, did we go to 4 o'clock?
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So we did go to the next hour, but did an entire 60 minutes or a whole hour go by?
No.
Not yet, right? Because a whole hour to go by, we would have had to go from here all the way around. But I see what you're saying. We did cross over to 4 o'clock hour. We got out of the 3 o'clock hour, didn't we? So does that clock show the answer? Or did they need to do something? What would they need to do to show the answer there? Okay, so what do y'all think? Does that show the answer or no?
Yeah.
Yes? So what would they have to do to show how to find the answer on this one? What would have to happen? Yeah.
They would have to go all the way around the clock, and they only went 30 minutes, but they have to go all around the clock to show an hour to get to 4 o'clock.
Okay, so you're telling me this is not the same as this.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks. What do y'all think? Is this answer, when I go from 3:30 to 4 and from 4 to 4:17, the same as this? Does it show the same thing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to your partner. Does it show the same thing, and why or why not?
It shows the same numbers. Yeah, you could just add 30 and 17 again, and it would still equal.
Okay, so let's come back together. There's some debate that these don't show the same answers. We're having some debate that this is not the same as this. Who wants to talk about proving their answer and who's right? Yes, ma'am.
I think it is the same because they have the same number, 30 and 17, and if you add those together, it still equals 47.
Oh, so the only difference is this is on a line where we started at our start time and our end time, and this one was on a clock, right? Because we started with our clock and we're moving our times over. So a clock is kind of like a big number line in the first place, right? We just stretch it out and calculate our time. So I think we've proven that they are the same. This person just hasn't added yet, have they? They don't have the 30 plus the 17 to add those totals together. So I have another solution I want to show you. Let me put these back on because I can't see, even though this is really big. Right here. And I want you to look at the difference in this model. So remember our success criteria today, you were working on showing the elapsed time on a clock and a number line. So we've seen a clock, we've seen a number line, and now we have another one that I want you to look at and talk about what is different here. Are y'all getting dizzy? Okay, so let's take a look at this one. And look at where their number line started and where their number line ended and how they calculated the time. I want you to talk to your partners about what you noticed about this one, what they did that was different on this one, and what was the same, and what feedback you might have for this group that did this one. So talk to your partners.
They broke it up, but they ended it with 422. So they ended up going something at the end.
So what do you think happened there? What was the error?
I think they forgot what they were adding.
That was wrong. It did very bad.
They forgot what the number was at the end, and they didn't get their adding right.
Oh, so the end time is off a little bit. Is that what you're saying? So that made them off the 4. You don't think the end time was off? What do you think was wrong then? What caused the... Oh, you were thinking the other one.
I think it was the jump.
Oh, you think they should have jumped more? You'll have to talk to us about that here in a minute, okay? Oh, timer's going on. Let's look at this. Let's talk about what you were noticing. Somebody share some things that you noticed that are the same, or maybe some things that are different. Who wants to share? You guys up in the front want to share something that you noticed?
That they counted by 10.
Did y'all notice that? Can you do that?
No.
Wait, I thought we had to count by 30 like this. Can we count by 10s?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So maybe they started at the 30 and they said 10, 20, 30. Yeah, and they kept counting. So what else did you notice? So it's okay to count by 10s. What else did you notice?
That they accidentally went to 422.
Oh, so they have the end time is 22, but the last clock had 17. Which one was right? Oh, which one was right? What do you think?
Ours.
The 17? So I want you to talk about if this is 17, and we agree, I agree with you, it is definitely showing 17. What do you think happened that caused this group to accidentally get 22 instead of 17? Talk to your partners. What do you think they accidentally did that got them to 22 instead of 17? Talk to your partner. Talk to your partners. What do you think they did? They might have went to the 20 and kept counting 2. 22 instead of 17? Yes, sir.
They counted from the 12 down.
And they said what?
5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22.
Oh, so you think they stopped here and they kept going and maybe they looked at this hour hand? Oh, I could see that happening, couldn't you? Yeah, so that's a little, let's say we looked at the hour hand and it does look like it's pointing at the 22. But we needed it, we're really looking at the minute hand pointing at the 17. Yes? That's an easy mistake to make. So we can correct that. But is their thinking right? Did they solve the problem correctly if it had been a 22?
Yes.
Absolutely, they just added their times on. Yes, sir.
That was mine, so I know what I did.
Oh, well, do you want to tell us what you did?
I was counting and I accidentally counted the 12 as a 5, so I thought it was 20 and then I counted up 2 and I thought it said 22 instead of 17.
Oh, thank you for sharing what you were thinking because I think that was a great prediction of what might have happened, but it sounds like he said 5, 10, 15, 20. And he actually stopped at the 22, or at the 17, but he had just miscounted. Thank you for sharing that. So a couple of ways. We got to pay real close attention on these clocks. They get tricky, don't they? So there was one more solution that I wanted you to look at, and let me make it flip, and then we're going to be done because our timer went off, and our time is up. So I'll look at this last one. So this last one here has a little equation. I can zoom in for you, maybe. And it also has some of these little loopity loops here. You can ignore those, or you can talk about what you think they were trying to do. But what does this represent, and why did they choose to add them together? And where do you think those numbers came from? Talk to your neighbors. What do those numbers represent?
That's how much you have to get. So much
They did do the number line. Do you think they were trying to use a clock? Oh, that happened too. Okay, gotcha. All right, so let's come back together. Where did these add-ins come from? Where did these numbers here come from? Yeah.
They probably added the minutes together to get how much it would take for 3:30 to get up to 4:17.
Gotcha. So you're thinking they may have done like this solution and said, oh, it's 30 and 17, and maybe they didn't even hop on the clock. They might have just said 30, 17, 47. Can you do that?
No, you actually have to figure it out.
Well, they kind of did figure it out, but you wouldn't have met our success criteria if that's all you did, because we had to model on the clock and in a number line, didn't we? So we definitely wanted to show our thinking, but this isn't wrong. And if it's okay if I look at a clock and go 30, 17, 47, can I do it like that?
Yes.
Absolutely. I don't always have to draw all these big models, but unless your teacher's asking you to do that to show you're successful, right? Yep. So being able to think about it is okay too, but we have to know where those numbers come from. We can't just pluck them out, right? You guys did an excellent job of figuring out elapsed time today. I want you to turn and tell your neighbor one more time, what was elapsed time and how did you calculate it?
Passes by.
Okay, so who wants to share what you and your partners talked about? What is elapsed time and how do you calculate it? Who wants to share? What is elapsed time and you want to share? She's volunteering you. What do you think? Go ahead.
I think elapsed time is how many times you go around the clock.
It definitely can be. And sometimes do we go all the way around the clock?
No.
This time we didn't, did we? This time we did not go all the way around the clock. So it's the time that goes by, right? And I asked you to also talk about how did you calculate it? What did y'all do to figure out how much time went by? Yeah.
We were looking how much time was how much time would it to get to 4:17 from 3:30?
There you go. You knew your start time and you knew your end time. And you said how far is it from 3:30 to 4:17?
47 minutes.
And it was 47. But y'all didn't just jump 47. You jumped to those, what do you call those numbers? When you jump to 4, what do we say that number might be called?
Elapsed.
It is elapsed because we're figuring out that time. But remember when we're adding other numbers and we jump to those like 20s, 30s, and 40s, but this time we're jumping to 4 friendly numbers. Remember us talking about them being friendly? So you were getting to that next hours because could you count every one of these little dots, little dashes all the way around?
Yeah.
Would you want to do that?
No.
No, because we want to be more efficient, right? We want to jump more efficiently. So we definitely want to look at those friendly times that we can jump to. So when you're jumping to 15s and 30s and all those things. Yes, sir?
You can also skip count by 5.
You absolutely can. So that's another efficient way to get there, right? You skip counting by 5. So what we discovered today is that elapsed time is the time that passes by. And you discovered and met your criteria for success in that you showed it on the clock and you showed it on a number line by counting up from the start time to the end time. Excellent job. So I have an exit ticket for you all. If you would just turn that piece of paper that you have over on the back. And this is just one for you to try on your own to see how you do. So this is not one for you to talk to your neighbors about. Now there's not a clock on this. I just tell you the times. So if you need to go back and look at the clock on the front to help you count or calculate, feel free to do that, or you have your little yellow clock. So 3rd grade lunch starts at 12:28. 4th grade lunch starts at 1:07. How much time elapsed from when 3rd grade lunch started to when 4th grade lunch started? So I want y'all to just think about that on your own. Take a couple of minutes. Write the answer on the back. You can show it on a number line would be great, since that's what we were working on today. Where you would start and where you would end. Thank you guys, you did a fabulous job today. I'm gonna let you